What do you think, Dan, about new construction? I've been working on a pre-approval all day today for someone who wants to buy new construction. And I'll tell you, there's a couple things that I've seen that are really interesting lately. Builders actually reaching out to me to say, hey, do you have a buyer? We have one that fell out, trying to find a fit. Wanted to give you the opportunity. We like working with you. That just kind of sounds to me like, hey, we don't have anyone else on the list. Can you help us out?
And it's funny because I was talking to somebody this morning who had just purchased in Three Roots. And I think it kind of goes back to what you were saying. I mean, location is going to be number one. There's very little new construction in central San Diego. So something like Three Roots, you have Shea, you have Lennar, you have Cal West. Those are still going to be hot until they sell every last one of those homes. But if you go down to Otay Ranch, if you go up to Valley Center, those are the areas where we're seeing the most new construction in San Diego. And the reality is, like, people are making a sacrifice to live in those areas to get newer construction. And it kind of like you were saying earlier, it kind of gets to a point where it's like, all right, I'm spending this much money on a house to be this far away from everything that we want. So yeah, I think that's absolutely happening, especially in those areas. Some of the more like smaller new construction communities that are a little bit more central. Like there actually is a new community. I don't remember the name of it that's about to open up in Poway, but it's like, I forget what it is, like, 30 or 50 homes, something like that, like really, really small community.
Right.
And I think all those are going to do just fine as long as they're not outrageously priced. And then the other thing that I always suggest with new construction is just make sure that you're working with a good builder. I'm not gonna name names on this, but there are one or two that I would highly recommend to avoid, just because of their quality of service, the building materials that they use, everything from top to bottom. It's just they're not good companies to work with when you can choose from other builders.
I'll just tell you straight up, Dan, as far as new construction is concerned,
hated it.
Can't stand it.
Hate it?
I hate it. Hate it. Now, I do, and it's not just because the builders, lenders are always doing these crazy things to try to steal people away and like make sure that they don't have any representation. But just it's replaced for when I grew up, people would warn you about going onto a car lot. That, hey, they're going to try to swindle you. They're going to try to give you nothing for your trade-in. They're going to try to do all these things. This is what the new home builders do. And it is like the same tactics. It's ultimate profiteering. They want to try to maximize their profit on you when you walk through the door. And they want to get you unrepresented. That's goal number one. So they don't want you to contact your agent. They don't want you coming in with it. In fact, if you have an agent and they don't come with you when you walk into that new build,
show up the very first day. Yep.
They're out of the picture. And then they will, of course, try to get you to use the in-house lender, which I know is mostly for them just about being able to stay updated and organized because they pretty much give away the mortgage. But it's mostly about trying to keep you unrepresented. I've seen some crazy stuff, man, where, we in contract with someone and it was during when prices were going way up, and 6 months later when we're about to close, the house is worth like $80,000 more than what she's in contract for. And they did everything they could to try to blow up the deal on us. Everything they could. We jumped through so many hoops to get her that house. But we did. We got it for her. And so, like, it's just dirty to me. I don't like it. I don't like the way it's done. I don't like the fact that they cut out representation. I think agency is important when you're doing such a big deal, and just the fact that they try to cut that out right off the bat for me is no bueno. And then, just the ultimate profiteering angle of it. And listen, I get it. Like, it makes sense. If you're a builder, you have to shell out a tremendous amount of money to get this going. It takes years and years and years before you sell a house, right? 2, 3, 4 years before you actually sell a house and bring any revenue in. And that whole time, you're going to, did I lose you? Hold on a second. I think I lost Dan somehow. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
He's back. Okay.
I don't know what happened. I froze and rebooted. I'm back in, guys.
He's in. So, so like these new home, the new home builders, to me, they just sort of embody everything that's wrong with the way business is done. And now they're going to start crawling back to realtors again and trying to get people in, even though they've shunned them and reduced commissions and try to cut them out of so many deals. But the macro issue I have beyond the ethics is just when you buy a new home, today, you're having to pay for all of the extra red tape that these builders have to go through. Melrose is crazy. HOAs are crazy. They're going to max the price out for sure on you. They're going to get as much as they absolutely can out of it. And so you're really paying top dollar for that product. I'll never forget this, Dan. In 2014, I sat down with Michael Harris, who is the president of the Building Industry Association. He told me, listen, buy a house with an acre of land, if you can find one, half acre, whatever, house with a real yard. Because I guarantee you they're not going to build them anymore ever here. So whatever houses there are with the nice yards, that's how many there's going to be. Not going to be any more built. And he was dead serious. And I kind of laughed. And I was like, oh. And I've been telling people that story ever since. And the people who've listened to me over the years, they're very, very happy right now. Not just because real estate's up, but because it's true. They're not building anything like that. Everything is right next to each other. It's on top of one another. It's postage stamped lots. It's building vertical.